All right, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. We're going to be doing a product focus. It's something that I want to start doing where we focus on one synergy product each month. So for the month of January, we're going to look at metabolic LDL. I haven't decided what it's going to be for the month of February, but for now, we're going to focus on this fantastic product from Synergy Worldwide. It is one of the best products that Synergy Worldwide created in conjunction with the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation. Dr. Matthew Tripp's not with Synergy Worldwide anymore. He retired. But this product is one of his really achievements in terms of product formulations. He's been in the product formulation business for a long time. And Synergy Worldwide hired him, Nature Sunshine Synergy Worldwide hired him away from where he used to be to run the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation. And this product is one of the best products that has ever been created out of that effort to bring to market products that effectively help address health issues. And in this case, metabolic LDL is really designed to address cholesterol issues and provide metabolic support. And when you look at this product, here are the unique selling properties of metabolic LDL. And one of the things that I try and teach people from a marketing standpoint is you need to understand the unique selling properties of the product that you have. Unique selling properties are the properties that make your product that you're sharing with people unique and different from the rest of the products that are out there in the marketplace. And so when we look at metabolic LDL, here are the unique selling properties. It's clinically proven. So it's a clinically proven product. That's highly important because a lot of products cannot make that statement. We can make the statement that metabolic LDL is clinically proven, and it's clinically proven to address cholesterol as well as anti-aging issues. It helps to prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. I was in a discussion with an individual during this week, asking my opinion with regards to how I felt about cholesterol. And I said total cholesterol and the amount of LDL cholesterol wasn't the important aspect. What was the important aspect is what was the amount of oxidized LDL cholesterol in the person's bloodstream. That's the key, because it's oxidized LDL that is the problem that creates vascular inflammation that can then lead to plaque formation. So metabolic LDL is clinically proven to prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. It's also a very powerful antioxidant blend. And when you look at the theory of anti-aging based upon free radical damage, antioxidants are hugely important in fighting free radical damage because it's free radical damage that typically causes cellular inflammation. It's cellular inflammation that typically leads to most types of diseases. And so when we're looking at a product like metabolic LDL, it has a very powerful antioxidant blend. And we'll talk a little bit more about this when we get into that part of today's presentation. It's well tolerated with no known side effects, which is important, and it's patent pending. Now, when you look at the unique selling properties of metabolic LDL, those are the ones that you really want to get, if not memorize, really well acquainted with, so that you can be able to, depending upon the discussion that you're having with the individual, be able to utilize those unique selling properties to help them. So if you're talking to a person who's got a cholesterol issue and they're using statin drugs, or they're thinking about using statin drugs, or they're not happy with the statin drugs because of the side effects that they're getting from statin drugs, then this becomes a product that you could position as an alternative, or a product that you could position as something that they could implement, work in conjunction with their physician to be able to see how their cholesterol responds, and then be able to either get off or wean down the amount of medication that they're taking. So when we look at this product, metabolic LDL, really from a marketing standpoint, has two primary markets for you. It has a cholesterol market, it has an anti-aging market. Now, again, there's a huge number of people in the United States and in other countries that Synergy Worldwide operates that have cholesterol concerns. Now, if they're in other countries, then you're going to have to go to the Synergy website and then pick the country that Synergy's in, that you might have someone in that country that's concerned about cholesterol, to see if metabolic LDL is actually available in that country. It's, not all the Synergy products are available in all the different countries. Some countries have products that we don't have in the United States, and there's products that we have in the United States that other countries don't have, like the immune booster. That's available in the United States and the Canadian market, but the immune booster is not available over in Europe to the European market. And I do not think it's available to the Asian market. So currently, metabolic LDL is a specific product that we've talked about in the past that is available currently just to the US and Canadian marketplace. So again, if you've got a person who's in a different country that Synergy operates in, you just have to check and make sure that the product is available to them in that market. But for here in the United States, where we're at, and for we have some people up in Canada that have joined us in today's presentation, this is a great product for anyone that has cholesterol concerns, that they can then use this product from a natural standpoint to address those cholesterol concerns. And if you have people who are interested in slowing down the aging process, which a lot of people are, it's a huge marketplace, then you have a very powerful product in metabolic LDL that can address that whole anti-aging marketplace. Now, when it comes to cholesterol concerns, I picked this from JAMA. This is not the most current aspect, but it's, it's what, not a little over 4 years old. And again, when you're looking at trends, when you're looking at things, there's a period of time that you can't always get current information, because it takes time to gather the information and analyze the information. But as you can see from JAMA, the trend for using cholesterol medications, statin drugs, has increased. So when they looked at it from 2002 to 2003, 17.9, let's round that up to 18% of the adult population age 40 and older were using some type of statin drug to control cholesterol. Fast forward 10 years, and that percentage increased to 28%. So a 10% increase in 10 years, basically 1% per year. Now, that's not to say that that trend of 1% increase is going to continue every year, but certainly there's been when you're looking at the adult population group here in the United States, for those that are 40 years and older, over 25% of that population is using some form of statin drug to be able to address cholesterol concerns. So when you're looking at cholesterol concerns and statins, there's plenty of research that shows that statins really work. Statins clearly show the ability to reduce blood cholesterol and prevent atherosclerosis or heart disease. So you can't knock the drug for not being able to do what it's supposed to do. And the way that it does this is it interferes with the liver's ability to create cholesterol. So a statin drug blocks an enzyme called HMG-CoA reductase that the liver uses to make cholesterol. That sounds just great until you understand that there are potential side effects from the medication because of the pathway that it uses to interfere with the liver's ability to create cholesterol. That same pathway that the liver uses to create cholesterol is also the same pathway that the liver uses to create coenzyme Q10. So as they've had, I think, over 25 years of experience with statin drugs, they clearly understand in today's market that statins also lower coenzyme Q10. Why is that important? Well, the body produces coenzyme Q10 as an energy source, and it's a prominent energy source for the heart. So what they found that through the consistent use of statin drugs, while they lower cholesterol concerns, they increase the potential for other heart problems, congestive heart failure, because of the lack of coenzyme Q10. So then it becomes a supplementation of coenzyme Q10 if you're using a statin drug. And I pulled this from Dr. Mercola. He's pretty well respected. He's not that far from where I live. I live just outside of Chicago. He is in a town that's not too far from me. And I pulled this from his article, 5 Great Reasons Why You Should Not Take Statins. Again, we just talked about statins reduce coenzyme Q10. It's a necessary energy for, it's a substance that the cells need for energy production, and it's especially needed in the heart. Statins reduce vitamin K2. Again, we're all most likely familiar with the need of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is in our product ProArginine Plus. It works in conjunction with vitamin D3, which is also in ProArginine Plus, to help regulate calcium levels in the vascular system. And if statins reduce vitamin K2, then what happens is vitamin K2 can't regulate well calcium levels in the bloodstream. So typically it results then when you decrease vitamin K2, it increases the potential for what's known as vascular calcification, hardening of the arteries, hardening of soft tissues in the body, because the K2 doesn't regulate calcium like it did before, and keeping calcium in your bones where it belongs, and then letting calcium out as it needs through the rest of the body. Statins reduce what's called ketone production. This can accelerate the aging process for people. And when we come to looking at your brain health, ketones are extremely important in providing a great energy source for brain metabolism. One thing I didn't know about statins until I looked at Dr. Mercola's information is that it increases the risk for cancer, especially breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. Those are most likely the 2 most prevalent cancers for men and women. I don't have the research here, to make a statement about that, but it would be interesting to see if there's a cause and effect with regards to that. I don't know, but that would be something that would be interesting to look at independently. And then you've got an increased risk for diabetes, muscular issues, which are common, pain and muscle wasting. And then another thing that I wasn't familiar with was that there's an increased risk for cataracts. Again, as people age, one of the problems that they have is they get, as older adults, the buildup of stuff in their eyes called cataracts, which then again causes problems with their vision. Now, one of the things that Dr. Mercola pointed out is from a neurodegenerative diseases, cholesterol is essential for your brain health. In fact, he puts the amount of cholesterol at 25%. So, 25% of cholesterol in your body is, when you look at the amount of cholesterol that's in your body, 25% of that cholesterol is focused in your brain. It's critical for synapse formation, the connections between your neurons, which allow you to think, learn new things, form memories. So it's not surprising that people who use statin drugs also experience memory loss and cognitive issues. Because what is the purpose of a statin? Purpose of a statin is to lower cholesterol. And it does it by interfering with the liver's ability to create the cholesterol that your body needs to be able to maintain membrane integrity. In fact, if you didn't have cholesterol, I don't have an image for this, but I've got a video that I use with this image. You would be basically, if you did not have cholesterol in your body, you would be basically a pool of fluid on the floor. Cholesterol is necessary for membrane integrity. And if you don't have membrane integrity, then you'd be like one large amoeba, just a pile of fluid on the floor, because you wouldn't have any structure. And so again, this whole aspect of your brain having so much of the body's cholesterol is important to brain integrity. And then coming back to this ketone aspect, ketone production. Statins reduce ketone production, and ketone bodies are used as a fuel source for the brain. They also been demonstrated as a capacity for protecting against neural diseases, seizures, and age-related brain diseases such as Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's. And research from Penn State College of Medicine even found statins were associated with an increase in, just 1 second here, increase in Parkinson's risk. So again, when we take a medication, and there is no, and I'm not saying that medications are bad. All I'm saying is that medications have side effects. And those side effects can be significant for people. So the question becomes, is there a natural alternative to addressing cholesterol? And this is where the fruit Bergamot Riso comes into play. The Bergamot Fruit Extract does what statins do. They block the enzyme in the liver that is needed to produce LDL cholesterol. The difference is Bergamot Fruit Extract does it without side effects. So you have the ability to take a natural ingredient that can naturally lower cholesterol levels in the body and do it without the side effects that medications do. Now, there is a lot of research, and I'm going to come to it in a second, but here I want you to understand that in the Canadian Journal of Physiology and Pharmacology, Synergy Worldwide, Nature Sunshine Products, through the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation, they formulated multiple combinations, and one of those combinations was what's called F105. That F105 was the basis for metabolic LDL. And in that metabolic LDL, or what's called F105, they did a clinical study, and that clinical study had outstanding results, and that clinical study was published in the Canadian Journal of Physiology and Pharmacology. So if you have a person, a potential client who wants to better understand the clinical aspect of this product, again, you can send them to this journal, and I provide links to it so that you're able to use that as a way of helping to substantiate the science behind metabolic LDL. Or if you're dealing with a physician who's open to looking at other natural alternatives to help their patients address cholesterol concerns, especially if they have a concern about using a statin product, then the physician, this would be helpful to the physician to be able to, again, from a science standpoint, substantiate the use of metabolic LDL. Now, when it comes to the specific ingredient Bergamot extract, there is plenty of great peer-reviewed information, scientific studies and information with regards to this extract, natural extract, helping to lower cholesterol. This is taken from the Cleveland Clinic. The Cleveland Clinic here in the United States is one of the most respected health organizations in the United States. Most likely as respected or maybe even more respected than the Mayo Clinic. And so this information was pulled from off of their website, and I've got circled in red. The study researchers also reported that adding bergamot allowed them to cut by half participants' dosage of cholesterol drugs without reducing its effectiveness. So just by using the bergamot extract with their patients in this study, they were able to drop from 278 milligrams per deciliter of the blood down to 191. Huge reduction just by the use of a natural ingredient. Pulling this from the American College of Cardiology. Again, highly respected in the information that they share. As you can see, they were looking at the role of the role of nutraceuticals in statin intolerant patients, meaning that they have patients who can't take statin drugs because of the side effects that the statin drugs cause for their patients. So how are they going to lower the cholesterol if they can't use the medication statin? They looked at nutraceuticals, natural ingredients, to see if there were natural ingredients that could be comparable to what would happen with statins. And on the thing that I'm showing you here, they list them alphabetically, and you can see Bergamot reduced LDL cholesterol by 61 milligrams per deciliter. So they either give it as a percentage or in the amount of milliliters per deciliter. So again, they are showing how Bergamot Fruit Extract helps to lower LDL cholesterol within a person's system. Again, I give you a link to the study for that. And then Cardiology, again, highly respected journal, looked at bergamot as a way for addressing cholesterol issues. And so how would the study in Cardiology be different from what Dr. Tripp and the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation did? And what was different is that a lot of studies look at one single ingredient. The best way I can share this with you is if you look at, because we're all familiar with L-arginine, and because L-arginine is in our product ProArginine Plus, well, if you just look at studies using L-arginine by itself, you see a wide range of research, from seeing benefits to seeing no benefits at all. And the reason why is because you're using a single ingredient. So going back to L-arginine, L-arginine by itself fuels 7 different metabolic pathways within the body. So if the L-arginine that person consumes does not go down the pathway for the creation of nitric oxide, then you're not going to see any benefit. If it goes down the pathway for the creation of nitric oxide by the lining of your vascular system, which we all know is the endothelium, then when the L-arginine is converted by the enzymes of the endothelium into nitric oxide, it's a one and done process. But because it's a calcium dependent reaction, if the calcium levels are not proper in the person's system, the L-arginine could be there, but there would not be the creation of nitric oxide or very low creation of nitric oxide because the enzyme doesn't function properly because it's missing the calcium component. If the calcium component is there, then the L-arginine is converted to nitric oxide, but it is a one and done process. That's why L-citrulline is extremely important to continue to make sure that person is using L-citrulline in conjunction with L-arginine, because the L-citrulline reforms L-arginine to go down that same pathway for the creation of nitric oxide. So the point that I'm making is when you use just a single ingredient, you don't always get universal benefit. But when you begin to combine ingredients together, they have a synergistic effect that also then creates an even better outcome. Now, when you look at the nice thing about Bergamot Fruit Extract as a single ingredient, there are plenty of studies that show how effective Bergamot Fruit Extract is in helping to lower cholesterol levels in the body. And what the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation and Dr. Tripp did is they looked at the Bergamot Fruit Extract in combination with 9 different fruit and plant extracts. And they used a wide range of those different combinations until they found the combination F105 that provided the greatest benefits of both reducing cholesterol and acting as a very powerful antioxidant. And then once they had that combination, they then did their study and then were able to make clinically proven statements for our product called Metabolic LDL. So the Metabolic LDL is Bergamot Fruit Extract, 500 milligrams, and then they have a proprietary blend of 200 milligrams that have these 9 different fruit and vegetable extracts. As far as taking this product, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is take 2 capsules with dinner. If a person wanted to be a bit more aggressive with the product to address their cholesterol concerns, they could take 2 capsules with breakfast, 2 capsules with dinner. Again, you want to take it with food. And so this is a pretty easy program. This is a pretty easy program for a person to be able to implement into their lifestyle. 1 bottle of metabolic LDL sitting on their dinner table as a reminder, and then taking 2 capsules with dinner. Benefits: it modulates the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. So basically, that means it helps to prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. And as I shared at the beginning of today's presentation, it's not your total cholesterol that's the issue. It's not your LDL cholesterol that's the issue. The issue is oxidized LDL cholesterol. How does LDL cholesterol get oxidized? By free radicals, typically free radicals in the system. What helps to stop free radicals? Antioxidants. We'll come to this in just a little bit. So metabolic LDL modulates the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. It supports healthy cholesterol levels, meaning that it supports HDL cholesterol, and it features a powerful proprietary antioxidant blend. When you're looking at marketing, we've already talked about what a large market there is for cholesterol. There's also a huge market for anti-aging. Again, taking this from Statistica, you have in 2015 versus 2021, where we're at now, you can see the increased growth in the anti-aging market. Worldwide, this is almost a $217 billion market in the market of anti-aging. And it's just going to continue to increase. Why? Because people don't want to die. People want to be as healthy as possible for as long as possible. And the mentality of people change. Like my parents, they both passed away, but their mentality was go to the doctor and do what the doctor tells you to do. And this is not a comment on the doctors or the medical profession. It's just a commentary on terms of how people think today. More and more people think, okay, I'm going to be my own advocate for my health, as opposed to just doing what the doctor tells me. And so as an advocate for my health, I'm going to begin to pursue things maybe from a more natural standpoint that I can use to address my health concerns. And then if that natural method isn't helping me, then I go to the doctor to find if there's a medication that I might be able to use to help me address the issue, as opposed to going to the doctor and getting medication and never looking at the natural method that I might have been able to use to either solve or lessen the same problem. So that aspect of people taking more responsibility for their health is going to continue to increase rather than decrease, especially because people want to live as long as they can and be able to do it in as healthy a body as possible. So we have this whole anti-aging market, and this anti-aging market really comes to what they call the free radical theory of aging. And I would say at this point in time, it's more than just a theory, but the free radical theory of aging is that free radicals, which are molecules that are missing an electron in their outer orbit. So when that molecule loses its electron in the outer orbit for whatever reason, it becomes unstable. That's oxygen. Oxygen loses a molecule in its outer orbit, it becomes a free radical. So oxygen has a benefit to it, and it also has a detriment to it. The detriment is when that oxygen molecule loses that outer electron, it becomes a free radical. And as a free radical, it wants to stabilize itself. So what does it do? it steals an electron from another molecule. It steals an outer electron from another molecule, so it stabilizes itself, but it then creates another free radical. And then that free radical does the same process. It's unstable, wants to be stable, steals an electron from another molecule from its outer orbit of that other molecule, stabilizes itself, creates another free radical. You have this cascading effect, and it ends up where the last one steals an electron from an outer orbit of a molecule that's in your membrane, vascular wall, and or like something like LDL cholesterol. And so that LDL cholesterol then becomes oxidized or unstable and begins to cause problems. So most all diseases are a process of this free radical damage, this cumulative free radical damage over time, stealing a final electron from a cell membrane, causing inflammation and damage to the cell membrane that over time leads to some form of disease. So what are antioxidants? Well, antioxidants have the ability to give away their outer electron. Electrons in an antioxidant have the ability to give away that outer electron to stabilize a free radical. And then at the same time, once they do that, they still remain stable. And that's the beauty of an antioxidant, is they can freely give away an outer electron to stabilize a free radical, and at the same time, they stabilize the free radical, they remain stable. They stop the process of this free radical damage, this cascading effect. So anything that you can bring into your body that has antioxidant properties helps to reduce the potential for free radical damage. And again, this is what the whole aspect of something like Metabolic LDL or our Mystica product from Synergy Worldwide. They're very powerful antioxidant drinks, like, well, in this case, the Metabolic LDL is a capsule. Mystica is a very powerful antioxidant drink, clinically proven to prevent free radical up to 43% free radical damage. That's how powerful that product is. So just think what you would do from an anti-aging standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, is if you had a person combine Mystica with Metabolic LDL. That would be an extremely powerful antioxidant program to help protect a person from free radical damage. So coming back to our product focus, which is Metabolic LDL, these are the 9 fruit and plant extracts that when you look at them individually have high ORAC values. What is ORAC? It's just a fancy way that science uses to determine how powerful a product is or an ingredient is in providing antioxidant benefits. So these 9 have very high ORAC values, but when you combine them together, you significantly increase their ability to work together to be even more powerful as an antioxidant combination. And that significantly addresses inflammation that is typically caused by free radical damage, because you're stopping the free radical damage through these antioxidants. Now, when we look at the product Metabolic LDL, it's a clinically proven product. They used 11 subjects. I'm not going to read through the information. I'm going to provide this PDF to you. It'll go out in Tuesday's newsletter. It'll be up on the Our Synergy Family website. I'm going to try and go there today, but there's some loading problems, so it was working fine for a long time, and I may have to send in a help ticket to the hosting company that hosts that platform. But again, you can see that for people who were in the study, it was significant in helping to lower total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, but it was even better in helping people who were diabetic. So if you've got a person that you know that has both a cholesterol issue and is diabetic, metabolic LDL works even significantly better for that person who is diabetic and has cholesterol concerns. And as you can see, the numbers that they had in the study were significantly higher for people who had diabetes than people who didn't. Help people who didn't have diabetes lower their cholesterol concerns, but for those that had diabetes, it was even greater in its ability to help those individuals see significant improvements in cholesterol with regards to that product. So this is a fantastic product for a person who has a cholesterol concern, and it's also especially effective for people who also have diabetes. Now, with that said, let me just go and see if it connects. We'll see if our Synergy family connects. I tried it earlier before today's presentation, but it didn't connect. It was having no problems yesterday or for the last couple months, but occasionally I have some issues, so I may have to send in a help ticket. We'll see what happens. It takes a little bit slower when we're doing this. Okay, the question is type 1, 2, or both. And Douglas, I don't know the answer to that, but my gut feeling would be both, all right? Because what you're looking at is not addressing the diabetes. What you're looking at is addressing the cholesterol concern. And so my gut feeling to that, Doug, would be that it would be effective for all types of diabetes, type 1, type 2. Type 1, for people that are on the call today, would be individuals who, for whatever reason, their pancreas is no longer producing insulin. Type 2 is typically insulin's being produced, but the body's not reading it properly, and so it's not utilizing its insulin like it's supposed to. And so when we're looking at cholesterol, again, I don't think it will matter whether they're type 1 or type 2 diabetics, because we're looking at its ability to lower cholesterol. So with that said, do I have any other questions that people would like to ask me before we end today's presentation? I'm sorry that we can't go to our Synergy family, but we have a dedicated page on our Synergy family that has videos and resources, PDFs and resources that are very powerful in helping you to market this product, Metabolic LDL. If you have a question, you'll have to unmute yourself. I think I hear someone ready to ask me something.
It's David. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, David.
Hey, listen up. A lot of information, something I definitely have to hear again. Thank you so much. I did have a great takeaway, the information that you're sharing regarding the purpose of the cholesterol in your body I guess it's a cohesive kind of thing to keep your body together.
Exactly.
So cholesterol is definitely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the negatives of the statins, how valuable information. So that I really appreciate. And like I said, I will have to hear it again to really get a lot of the information that you shared this morning. But could you tell me again I realize the bad cholesterol is oxidized cholesterol.
Well, again, specifically, you can say oxidized cholesterol, but it's oxidized LDL, oxidized bad cholesterol. That's the culprit.
Perfect. Oxidized LDL. So the HDL is good.
HDL is always good. In fact, HDL cholesterol helps to take and remove LDL cholesterol out of the system. So that's why HDL is considered the good cholesterol and LDL cholesterol is considered the bad cholesterol, not because in itself it's bad, but once it gets oxidized, then it's bad.
Would a statement be true if I said HDL, LDL is simply HDL cholesterol that has suffered oxidation?
Nope,
No?
They're two completely different molecules, and no, that would not be a correct statement. And if you're talking to someone who was knowledgeable, you'd get called on it. So again, understand there's two types of cholesterol that the physicians look at: the good and the bad. Good cholesterol, HDL. Bad cholesterol, LDL. But LDL cholesterol is not bad by itself. It's only bad if it gets oxidized.
I see. So there are two types of cholesterol in the body. One is affected when it gets oxidized. The other is not.
Correct. That would be a fairly, again, technically there's more subcategories of cholesterol than just LDL and HDL. But again, from a overall standpoint, yeah, you've got two types of cholesterols that your physician looks at: the good stuff, HDL, the bad stuff, LDL. But it's really not bad unless it gets oxidized. So,
Got it.
so if you really want to know if you got a problem, it's not a cholesterol blood test that's going to tell you. It's asking the doctor to do an oxidized LDL blood test.
Got it.
Because if you know what your oxidized LDL is, then you know if you got some issues that you got to worry about.
Good. Thank you, Dan. I also enjoy the positive aspects that you talked about regarding the metabolic LDL, which I take, but it's great to know, have more information, like you're saying, so that I could groom myself to speak a little bit more intelligently about it. So I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, to me, metabolic LDL is just a fantastic product. It most likely doesn't get promoted as much as what it should be, but when you look at the market that's out there, David, and it would be interesting. I didn't do this. If you wanted to do your research, you could most likely look and see from an ethnicity standpoint the level of cholesterol concerns in the U.S. population. For example, when you looked at vitamin D deficiency, 42% of the U.S. population is vitamin D deficient. But when you broke it out based upon ethnicity, and I'm going on memory right now, but I think it was 70% for Hispanics and 82% for Blacks.
Right.
Well, now, again, we've talked about this in previous. Now, because there's enough research to show how important vitamin D levels are in terms of reducing risk for COVID-19 and having better outcomes and lowering symptom severity. Now, the issue is most likely not socioeconomic issues. It's most likely the aspect of vitamin D levels in population groups that are more affected by COVID-19. It would be interesting to look at cholesterol issues to see, okay, overall, 25% of American adults 40 and over have a cholesterol or are using statin drugs, which most likely means that they have a cholesterol issue. But when you look at ethnicity, is it higher for Hispanics, higher for the Black population group? And my gut feeling is it would most likely show that. So because you market to the Hispanic community, and what I've understood from you in the past, David, is that people within the Hispanic community try and look for natural ways to address their health, then this might be a great product for you to promote, as well as it might be a great product, because you've got access to radio, and it might be a great product for a couple of your distributors in the Chicagoland area that have the food stores, to carry that product in addition to ProRx 9+.
All the above. Thank you, Dan. I'm taking that to heart and I make some notes. So appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Dan, this is Bob. I have a quick question for
Sure.
you too. With regard to taking the LDL or the metabolic LDL with an evening meal, what is the purpose for taking it with the evening meal?
I'm not sure. We don't have access to Dr. Tripp. I would assume that it just gets metabolized better at that time of the day than maybe taking it in the morning.
No problem. I just was curious.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I could think of in terms of taking it with an evening meal, or maybe it's because of compliance, because more people eat an evening meal than what they do like breakfast, or a lot of people will skip breakfast, or they're taking breakfast on the road, or they're stopping at fast food for breakfast and maybe doing the same thing for lunch. But dinner meal for most people is something that they come home to. It's not completely true, but even if you're getting your dinner meal from a carryout, a lot of people take it home. So maybe that, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, we can't ask Dr. Tripp that question because he's not available to us.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
This is Brooks Strebe.
Yes, Brooks.
I really enjoyed your presentation, by the way. I love it. It was very well done. And I
Thank
want
you.
to send my friends to see this link again. So did you say that the link won't be ready till Tuesday, or do you do this Zoom link? Like, did you record this so that you can watch it later?
So two things, Brooke. Is it Brooke or Brooks?
Oh, just Brooke.
Brooke. So Brooke, two things. One is every Tuesday I send out a newsletter on Tuesdays and Fridays to people that I have their email addresses through MailChimp. So if you don't get it, you can send me an email, and then I'll put you onto the email list. So you can send an email to dan@danhammerhealth.com, and then I'll add you to my MailChimp list. And then this is being recorded. So the Saturday presentations are recorded. If I'm using material like this in a PDF, then what I do is the recording will go up on Tuesday on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, you can type in Our Synergy Family. That'll go to our channel, and we have all of our Saturday presentations up there. And then on Tuesday, I send out through MailChimp a newsletter that has the link to today's recording, and that will also have a link to the PDF that I'm sharing. And unfortunately, I can't show you, but we also have a website called Our Synergy Family. And on that website, if you go to the strategy for cholesterol concerns and click on the link, it'll take you to the dedicated page. And so today's presentation and today's PDF will also be at the bottom of that page, where there's a section for Saturday presentations on information that we've covered that would apply to this. So you'll have multiple ways of being able to get a hold of this information.
Okay. And I have been on Our Synergy Family. It's very, very nice. I didn't know you had the Saturday stuff on there. So that's great.
Well, the Saturday stuff is, some of it's on there, but if you ever want to see all of our Saturday presentations, just go to YouTube, and then in the search bar that they have on YouTube, just type in Our Synergy Family and then hit search, and then you'll come to our presence on YouTube, and that YouTube then has every Saturday presentation we've ever done.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else with, yes.
So this is Judy. Thank you so much for this presentation. As always, it was excellent. I have a question about marketing, and perhaps it would require an additional Saturday webinar, but because, as you mentioned, this is really effective for oxidized LDL, and that is not in the standard tests, how do we market to individuals who do not know what their oxidized LDL levels are? So
I suppose we could do a Saturday presentation on that, but to me, Judy, the easiest way would be if they got a cholesterol concern and they're on a statin drug, or they don't want to be on a statin drug. If they got a cholesterol concern, then I would introduce them to metabolic LDL. If they were on a statin drug, I'd definitely introduce them to metabolic LDL as a natural alternative. And one of the things I can't show you that I wished I could, is when you're able to go onto Our Synergy Family, I'll send in a help ticket today to my hosting company. But on the page for cholesterol concerns, the marketing page for cholesterol concerns, Synergy Worldwide created an outstanding video on metabolic LDL. Now, Synergy has videos on their other products, but it's not the same. All right, this video that they did for metabolic LDL is a person talking. I think it's about 3 minutes in length, and it's detailed in how the product works. Bergamot Fruit Extract, these antioxidants. It is just a fantastic video. I wish Synergy would do all their videos this way, instead of just the no voiceover, words, sound, and all the words are just what the legal guys will allow Synergy to say. Yeah, and I've never made my own personal video for metabolic LDL because the video that was done by Synergy is outstanding, and there's no need for me to make a video. I couldn't make a better video than what they did. So that video is a great way to say, you know, you've got cholesterol. Are you concerned about it? You know, so it's the art of asking questions. I guess a little bit. Is your doctor wanting you to use statins? He's talking about it. Are you going to do it? I'm not sure. Would you be open to looking at maybe a natural way to address this in a natural way that addresses it without side effects? And I would say that most people, again, it's the art of asking questions, positioning information through your questions to get positive responses that lead them to wanting the information. And then I would just share with them that video on metabolic LDL. And I've shared it with others, and typically the response is, I want to get that product. And I think that is the easier way than saying, you know, you need to go get your LDL, your oxidized LDL, because then it requires, you know, a trip to the doctor's office. You know, they got to set up an appointment, a trip to the doctor's office, and then they got to justify why they want that with the doctor, as opposed to cutting off all that time and all that effort and just using a very simple video. Through the art of asking questions, that you create the interest that they want to see the video, and then the video does, for lack of a better word, the selling. Because what you've done is you've moved, as David talks about, the process of selling is, again, transfer of certainty. And so you've transferred your certainty about this product through the use of a video so that they can feel more certain about using that product. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dan,
All right. Yes, Doug. I mean, Donald.
that's okay. I think I shared.
Yes, you put a comment in the
No,
chat. Go ahead.
I mean, sometime before, I shared that my sister, she had cholesterol issues and used this metabolic LDL when it first came up by Synergy, and it worked wonders, if I can use that term. Brought the cholesterol down, and she swears by it.
And that's a good swearing.
Yes. Not
Well, good.
abusive.
I know. I appreciate that. Thank you, Donald.
And the other comment that I made, I posted in the chat. My preventive med doctor, his way of quickly looking at this is to divide the cholesterol by the HDL, and you get your ratio. He says that's the one that is gives a better, since your body has to have cholesterol, it tells you if you are in range.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm sorry?
I said thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else before we say goodbye? Good discussion. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Next week, I'm going to show you something that I've been toying with for the last couple of weeks to increase my ability to put videos up on YouTube, as well as then to take those videos and put them up on Facebook to create interest, both interest on YouTube as well as interest on Facebook. And I'm going to show you the process and what typically would have taken me a 6-minute video that would take me about 2 days to produce. I now get it done in less than 3 hours. And again, I'm going to show you the system next Saturday. And then if people are interested in branding themselves through the use of videos, it's a fantastic way to be able to do these videos, do them quickly, and begin to create an audience for yourself to be able to market Synergy products. So with that said, I'll see you next Saturday. Everyone have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye now.